All right, up next we have the Palm TX, which came out in 2005. It succeeded the Tungsten. If you guys remember back in the day, Palm had a whole bunch of different lines of PDAs. They had the cheaper ones, like I think there was like the Palm 3 was a really cheap one, and then they had the business line, the more expensive ones, which were the Tungsten ones. So this one is the successor, runs Palm OS Garnet 5.5, 312 megahertz Intel X scale, which was a really popular processor before Qualcomm Snapdragon came along, and all these newer ones. 32 megabytes of RAM, 3.9 inch TFT LCD, 16-bit color. Yep. Let's look at this. Actually, before I go into that, look at the connections here. We have a full-size SD card right here, headphone jack, power button, and then we have the stylus because it's a resistive touchscreen. We have a proprietary connector because this is the Palm connector, and you had to have a dock, by the way, to connect this to your computer, which uses HotSync to transfer your files. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And on the bottom here, you got the navigation. Actually, let's get into the operating system first. Okay, Graffiti, yes, that's what we used for Palm. Graffiti, Wi-Fi. This has Wi-Fi, that's good. Wi-Fi G probably, I think. Okay, anyways, so you got the menu button right here. And then you got, this is the appointments button, I think. Oh yeah, this looks classic. Haven't seen this screen in a while. And then this button here is the contacts button. And then this here is the browser button, I think. I'm not going to connect to the internet. Okay. Canceling. Okay, Blazor. I wonder if that's the Palm OS web browser at the time. Okay, let's go back. All right, so yeah, this is Palm OS, and Palm OS was one of the most popular operating systems at the time. So actually, you can find a lot of applications for it. Probably, I want to say more than, but it might be neck and neck with Windows Mobile. Windows Mobile and Palm OS, both of them had a lot of different apps for them. Like, they were basically the iOS and Android of the day, right? You can find a ton of apps from, and Symbian as well. Yeah, this is the calculator. Pretty simple. And calendar, right? Oh, this was the yeah, okay, it's the same thing. Jot down an appointment. Of course, there's no physical keyboard on here, so you had to pull up the the keyboard every time. Which was, no, that's the menu button. I think there was a way to pull up the keyboard somehow. Let's look at this. Oh, it's this one. Okay, this button pulls up the keyboard. And of course, obviously, you had to use a stylus for this keyboard. There's just no way that you could use your fingers. It's just, you know, so much different from the touchscreens of today. Office documents. Documents to go. Yep. This was kind of the competitor to Pocket Word at the time for mobile devices. Documents to go, and then Sheets to go was the competitor for Excel, Pocket Excel, and then Slides to go was the competitor to Pocket PowerPoint. Yeah, that was it. And yeah, this is Word to Go. As you can see, it does display rich text, and you know, you can do all the stuff with it. Obviously, it's not ideal when you have this kind of keyboard, but for businessman on the go in 2005, it's the best you can do probably at that time. Here is this Slides to Go, Slideshow to Go. Okay, yep, this is their PowerPoint alternative. Go to next slide. I mean, obviously there's limits, but it was good enough for a mobile device at the time. This is Microsoft Excel, so it's Sheets to Go, I think. Data Viz, yep, here it is. You know, functions and everything like that here. All right. Well, anyways, obviously that you can do that. You can play music, Pocket Tunes. Wow, okay. This is a competitor for Windows Media Player. I'm gonna raise the volume a little bit. This is the highest volume. Oh, it's coming from the back, that's why. It's covering it up. Yeah, obviously not great, but at least there is a speaker. That's something. I didn't even realize that. You can play video clips. Man, I wonder what resolution this is in. Oh man, he's using a Palm Trio in the video. This is a Palm Trio in the video. Crazy. What kind of advertisement's that? It's the picture. You can tap and hold to pan it. Ooh, panning. Obviously way before the days of pinch and zoom and stuff like that. Yep, this email, hot sync, yeah, task memo. Notepad, calc, SMS, expense, world clock. Yep, yeah, for travelers. Yeah, and you can install your own apps. There's tons of Palm OS apps. It's one of the most popular operating systems of that time, so you can easily find apps for it. I think, you know, there's Doom, you know, Commander Keen maybe, Minesweeper, Solitaire. You can even find a whole bunch of apps, Super Mario, something, maybe even ROMs and emulators. Just a lot of cool stuff you could do at the time. The days before iOS and Android, you had Symbian, Palm OS, Windows Mobile, BlackBerry. They all had their own apps. Yeah, that's the Palm TX, and this is a dialer. Although I didn't realize this was a phone. Huh? I didn't know this could dial. Oh right, you gotta tether it. Okay, maybe that was it. You gotta tether it to your phone. I was like, there's no way this is a phone. This is a PDA. Alright, anyways, that's the Palm TX. Alright, and up next we have another Palm OS device. This is the Sony CLIE NX70V. And yeah, Sony's never really good with naming their devices. But it's another PDA type device. First of all, it comes with this dock because it has a proprietary charger and data syncing cable. Like, you know, devices of the past always had these proprietary things going on. And then, you know, the active sync or hot sync actually is what Palm uses. Yep, so you have to have this dock here. And yeah, this is the Sony CLIE, and I've already done a review on the Sony CLIE, what is it, UX50? Yeah, so this is a different form factor. It's running Palm OS 5, Intel Xscale, 200 megahertz CPU, 16 megs of RAM, and you can tell this device is a very different form factor from the UX50, which was more of like a mini laptop clamshell form factor. This one is more like a, I would say it's more like a Palm Pilot that has a keyboard attached to it, or you could also think of it sort of like a flip phone almost. It's almost like a flip phone form factor, except this is a really, really big version of a flip phone. You can't make phone calls, obviously. But let's go over the externals of the device first. There's the on button. You can actually record stuff. So there's a recording light right here. Just like the UX50, there's a webcam that can rotate to become a video camera, right? And a photo camera if you rotate it to the back here. I think this is a memory card, yeah, memory stick, right, slot right here, and that's just Sony's proprietary storage format because they don't like SD cards. And this is a volume rocker. I think it should be a volume dial, and you have a normal 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which is appreciated given there's a lot of proprietary headphone jacks from this period, or headphone ports. Back button, which is a specialized tiny button here. I don't know why it's so tiny. They have it like that. Hold button. You have the aforementioned proprietary charger right here. There is a stylus right here. So right from the bottom, stylus. This is a resistive touchscreen because this device is from, what, 2004? So yeah, that's the norm back then. Then you have all your PIM functions right here and a full QWERTY keyboard right here, which is very flat, just like the Sony UX50. I don't like these flat keyboards, and Sony apparently has a history with these. I've also lamented about the flat keyboard on the Sony Vaio UX as well. So for some reason Sony likes their flat keyboards. So alright, so I have to keep this in the charging dock because the battery no longer holds a charge, unfortunately, so I have to do this from the dock. Alright, let's turn it on. Alright. So, okay, we gotta use the stylus for this, which means... Alright. We have to tap the stylus here. Okay, we got to calibrate it. This is what you got to do when you use one of these old operating systems that need a stylus. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is the Palm operating system right here. So this is the photo viewer. You guys have already seen some of this in my Sony CLIE UX50 video, but here it is again. Actually, what you can do with this device is you can actually twist the screen, put it on flat like here, which will actually help us for this video. Okay, so you got a few buttons down here. This is home. Right, so there's a few things we can do here. Oh, this is our welcome video. Welcome to your brand new Sony CLIE. Okay, I don't want to do this. All right, so we can appear this hot sync, card info, security. Nope, not preferences. You got to be very precise with where you press the stylus. I'm gonna use this as a remote control. That's cool. MS import access to the memory stick, backs up to the memory stick. I always think that MS, I always think of it like Microsoft, but it's actually memory stick here. There's a file viewer right here. Okay, this is, it tells us we have about 10 megs free. All right. Okay. Then we have, whoops, CLIE camera. If you really want to see the camera, I mean, it's not good, but here it is. Well, you can actually see a decent picture from here, but of course it's not a good camera. Yep, there's me. Then you can rotate it right here. See my room, which right now is kind of more like a storage. You can do a video recording. So, man, at least you could do video recording, right? Back in 2004, how many people were recording with mobile devices, right? Yeah, at least you can do video recording, which is actually kind of a cool feature, although it's not very high fidelity, but you can even zoom. That's kind of cool. 2x zoom there. This is our movie player that you can save onto the memory stick. So anyways, yeah, that was the camera. It's a decent camera for the time, of course, compared to today. You'd rather not use it. There's the album photo slideshow. If you have any photos, you can do a slideshow thing here. You can even have a photo editor. So it's definitely not Photoshop or anything, but it's more akin to Paint, right? So yeah, you can definitely, I don't know, do something here. Erase. Try very hard to erase. All right. Oh man. Resistive touchscreen, guys. Glad I don't live in this era anymore. Zoom. This is the eyedropper tool. Spray painting, I guess. That's a spray paint. Okay. We can change the RGB levels. We can do that. Okay. I don't know. I'm just scribbling here. Oh, I have a stamp. Okay, I can make little tiny houses here. All right, I'm done playing around with that. Then we have a Flash player, which of course Flash was very popular back in the days. So I still have some old Swift files I downloaded from Newgrounds. Might play that sometime, but I'd rather play that on my Arcos, not on this thing. Okay, so audio player, which is This interface, man, that's so 90s, early 2000s interface for music players. Oh man. Yep, that's what it is. That's the music player. Sound utility. Oh, voice recorder. It's amazing how many how many devices back then could actually do voice recordings. I maybe should have done more of that back then, because sometimes I like to record conversations and go back, you know, 5 years, 10 years, and see what I actually talked about back then. Sound utility. What's this? Just can I play this? Okay. So let's see this. Oh, this is not a volume dial as I suspected. It's actually a way to navigate this interface. Okay. And yeah, sing bird. Nice. Spring Park. So relaxing. I wonder if there is a volume rocker. Oh, maybe it's this one? Nope, I think that's also go up. Nope. Piano lesson. What's this? You know what's amazing is this thing is 32 seconds long and it only takes up 2 kilobytes. Wow. 30 seconds long, takes up 2 kilobytes. That's tiny. What kind of compression were they doing back then? Wow. Okay. Address book, you can do your normal pin functions here. To-do list, date book. This is just regular Palm OS stuff that all, the Palm TX that I just showed had that. So there's nothing too interesting here. Memo pad, yep, put your to-do list and everything here. I do use a to-do list actually quite often on my iPhone and my Android phone. CLIE memo, what's so special about this memo? It's a different kind of memo? Oh. Okay. Well, it's a different kind of memo than the memo pad. Calculator, I've always got to try out the calculator on every device I have. Cool. CLIE demo, feature to graffiti, which is a feature of a lot of Palm OS devices and handspring devices. Can't leave out handspring before they became Palm 1 when they merged with Palm. Okay, so you can put like, this is to recognize my handwriting. So graffiti was used, you know, with styluses back in the day for Palm devices with no keyboard. You know, you had to have a way of writing numbers and stuff like that, and that was just a quick way to do it. It was handwriting recognition essentially. Okay, what else do we have? I think that's all. All right, let me see. Just a quick rundown of the hardware buttons here. So this up and down acts the same way as this dial here. The dial is probably more intuitive for me. Or you can use this. I don't know why they give you so many ways of doing that. I thought this should just be a volume dial, but okay. And then this is just shortcuts for the calendar. This one is for the memo, for the address, and the to-do list. These are your normal pin functions. I guess people made a lot of to-do lists back in the day. I still use to-do lists. I still use memos. So that's kind of, and calendar, of course, I use as well for work. So I guess those are kind of useful. The address book, I almost never use an address book. So I do use a contact list, but it's very rarely I even add a new contact. So this one's not quite as useful for me. And I just want to try out the keyboard here. It's a very flat keyboard. Hold on. Yeah. Go. Yeah, it's, again, I don't like this flat keyboard. It takes me a long time to actually find the keys and the travels. It's there, but it's not great. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Sony's keyboards. I feel like they always make the keys too flat. But okay, that's it. Pretty much you've seen the rest. All right, that is the Sony CLIE NX70 in kind of a unique flip phone sort of form factor, I guess, which is very different from the UX50. That was more of a clamshell. This one is more of like a flip phone type of form factor. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty much the same functions as the UX50, except it's not as powerful because this came out before. Yeah, the UX50 came after this. We can also go by category, I guess, here. What's the Silk plugin? Huh? Don't know what that is. All right, guys. Anyways, yeah, and you can twist the screen and just use it as a normal, like Palm TX type of PDA without a keyboard. But if you want the keyboard, it's available. It's there, so that's better than most other Palm devices of the day, which didn't have any keyboard. So I would say the Sony CLIE was definitely better than a lot of the other Palm OS devices at the time, the handsprings and the Palm Pilots. This was a more functional version of those. And yeah, the Sony CLIE NX70V from 2004. And yeah, that's it. Leave me any comments or questions and in the comments below. Thanks for watching.